Hi.
Alright. Let's see, so I hit start, right? And
Oh,
nothing's happening, but doesn't mean,
well, something happened.
yeah.
You got the screen on, so.
I just want to know, like, sometimes like it'll show that there are other people. Is there anybody on the line?
As a little picture, it will show a number. Does it show a number?
No.
And there's no one else on this.
Here.
Oh, it says participants 3.
Yeah.
So is that 1, 2, and 3?
No.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
hit participants. You got one panelist, that's us, and there's 2 people in the audience.
Okay. But I
Yeah,
can't identify who they
sometimes you can,
Oh, Joe Smalls and Michael Miller.
right?
Okay.
So, yeah, those are not,
Okay.
sometimes Jen Gordon is.
Yeah.
General came in, but she comes in a little late occasionally.
Right, so, sometimes you can put Jen on as a panelist.
Richard sent me an email saying he thought he was not going to physically be here, so I sent him the Zoom link again.
Will you be able
So-
to check in?
Yeah. Why don't we give another minute or so? Sure. See. Also, Erin sent out a notice that she was not going to be able to attend, although she
Yeah, I saw it.
food time. Food work, sure, that we were discussing the Mill River project, she wanted to know why, so I just wanted to be involved in any project, but
Absolutely.
that's all why I hasn't been it. Okay,
Yeah.
I
I don't know what I went to.
chose 4 participants. Okay, oh, good, Richard. I'm glad you made it, Richard.
Gotta bring it in.
Oh, is that what happened?
Got him on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you don't bring
Oh,
bring in all that.
Oh,
well, I mean,
Good,
don't
good.
we want everybody in?
Don't just allow him to talk.
Oh, oh, I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
Just allow him to talk. No, cancel. Results. Okay. And the village is always version zoning. And
Okay, well, we have all 3 of the members. Richard on the Zoom. Jen's not here. Erin said she wasn't going to be able to. So why don't we start the meeting? So I call the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance. Do we want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
you can do it.
Okay. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
Which is the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I've been correct this time.
we need 3rd graders. I sent out the minutes before the meeting. Hopefully everyone got them. And Richard, I don't know if you can hear us, but if you have a comment about the minutes, please make it now.
Try to vote Richard to panelists, and I'm not getting any.
Well, why don't we just do allow to talk?
It's saying he's declining.
Oh, okay.
So and it said he's
He's got the
rejoining
cap, yeah,
now.
that's it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's rejoining because he's,
Yes.
okay. Any,
And,
any comments on the minutes, Mark?
no comments. I think they were
Okay.
excellent. minutes.
Okay.
Who was the secretary?
So if I have no comments, I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, minutes pass. Public comments. I met Ralph before this meeting, and so I'd just like to open it up. Ralph, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, I'm a curious citizen. I've been here 4 years, and I just want to see what's happening with the subject of affordable housing.
I came to the right place.
I guess I did.
And Jim
Schmaltz.
Schmaltz, if you have any public comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, I just can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just want to thank you for doing the Pledge of Allegiance today. I was just curious, like this time and the last time I was in the meeting has been the only times you guys have done it. You've always skipped over it, and I was just curious if there was any particular reason why.
Yeah, so, and Jim, we're gonna try to stay on topic here, but, the reason why is because we have a new chairman of the Affordable Housing Committee. And, I just do as I'm told, and I said on there that I should do the Pledge of Allegiance, so I just did it. But why don't we talk about the event, anything you'd like to bring up on the affordable housing situation? And again, time is limited. If you want to stay on topic, happy to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I had expressed them before. I have a hard time. A couple of things with the affordable housing. One, using town, taxpayer money for any of it. I don't think is right. And then also, I still try to understand why crisis if we haven't, increased the state population really at all. That really hasn't gone up much. Is it, to do with like migration and things like that?
Yeah, it's not migration. It's the population has remained pretty stable. But as you might have noticed just reading the paper, there's a huge affordability problem in the whole state. And that's just the economics of the probably the local economics and the national economics, which has the costs going up and the salaries and income not going up to match it.
So, Jim,
I understand that, but then are you gonna if we're just adding cheaper rent, you're gonna drive the cost of other rents down, correct?
no, not, I mean, one, this is not an economics class, so I won't get into, a complicated explanation of supply and demand and how, when one puts a small, very, very, very small effort to create affordable housing, that doesn't change the market in any, incredible way. It just allows a possibility of a small number of people to be able to afford housing here. I don't think it's going to have any significant impact on the price of homes, the cost of rent. In fact, if anything, if we do nothing, the housing values here will most likely continue to grow. So if we do something to help some affordable housing, I still believe that the housing market will continue to go the way it's been going. But what I would also say is if you could bring your comments to a close, there'll be, and as you said, you've mentioned these things before, happy to recognize you again, but why don't you make a closing comment so we can move on?
Okay, it doesn't seem like there's a good justification if the population isn't growing and you want to be charitable and subsidize rent for people, that's one thing. But if we're having to change zoning laws and change things in town to do this, but there really isn't, a physical need, it's more of a pricing, we should just be subsidizing rent more for people, not changing zoning and building, buildings.
Okay, well, I appreciate your thoughts and duly noted. And why don't we move on? Michael, do you have any comments you'd like to make? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's no. It tells us he has an old version of Zoom that doesn't work with us.
Okay.
May I ask you a question?
Yes. And I'm sorry, Ralph, what's your last name again?
Singleton, Singleton. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the federal government, not the state or the local government, has gotten into affordable housing on a national level and has said to the states, come up with a plan. The states have said to the towns, come up with a plan.
Correct.
My understanding is, and this is an issue that we all have, if you don't come up with a plan, I don't think you want the federal government to come up with a plan if you want to come up with your own plan. I think that's what puts pressure on towns here in Connecticut. And that's one of the reasons I'm here taking this meeting to see how are we going as far as building a plan for affordable housing? Because whether you like it or not, I think we have to deal with the subject. That's what I understand.
Ralph, duly noted. It's an excellent comment. The only thing I would just say is, it's actually the state of Connecticut also has a set of laws that they're in the process of, kind of creating more guidelines. But the state of Connecticut has said to all 167 towns in the state that they have to have more affordable housing. So you're 100% right. It's going to happen, and it's going to be required to happen. So why wouldn't we want to be involved in helping form how it happens here in Madison?
For your community, that's exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that they will, according to the plan from the new legislature, they will, at some point in the next couple of years, actually tell us how many affordable units we have to build.
And who would want to be in that position to be told when you can come up with your own plan?
Exactly. That's right. And oh, by the way, they want us to come up with our own plan.
Right.
They don't want to tell all the towns what to do.
They don't want to do.
They have this stick. They really prefer the carrot.
Yes.
They really prefer the carrot. And so that's, as responsible citizens who care deeply about the character of Madison, that's why we're trying to elicit more people to join the band.
You have to address it because it's an issue, and they've made it an issue, and an understandable issue. Some towns have a lot more flexibility. Question is, does this town have much flexibility? And that's what you're feeling.
Very good question.
And the answer to that will unfold in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, as we get into it. And again, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Sure.
And everyone's allowed to have a different view. That's
Absolutely.
that's fine. But we need to have a reasoned, intelligent conversation, understanding the facts.
Right.
So thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about old business, which is, let's talk about one of the ways that we can actually help move the ball forward and help create a plan that we ourselves are involved in. And that's the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We know that next Monday, there's going to be an open meeting in this room at 6 p.m. to talk about the Affordable Housing Trust. I'm going to guess that there'll be a handful of people who will be there who will have opinions. Others who are going to probably be there who are like yourself, Ralph, kind of want to understand more and learn more and ask good questions. So we certainly encourage anyone to come to this meeting. The more people who come, the more people get to hear what the choices are and voice their opinion. We're all in favor of that. And then the Board of Selectmen will then, after that 1 hour meeting, they'll one of the things that's on the agenda is they're going to decide whether they're going to approve or not this Affordable Housing Trust Fund. And I think one of the things, as maybe people here saw, maybe not, Aaron Rubin is one of the writers for The Source, the local newspaper here, interviewed Mark and I a couple weeks ago about affordable housing in Madison. I thought we spent a nice hour with him. Really engaged and interested and knowledgeable, and asked lots of questions. And there was an article that that he wrote that I thought was very fair and very open. There have been some letters to the editor, including one that I submitted last week. It was published by The Source. I recommend everyone to go back and read Aaron's article, read the couple of letters to the editor. My view at heart is two things. One, as we just said earlier, the state is going to require every town to have an affordable housing plan with a designated number of affordable housing units. That is going to happen. Currently, if you don't have a plan, you are very exposed to a developer coming in and proposing his own plan for a project and have very, very little say in how that plan gets built if you don't have the plan yourself. I also think that what the Affordable Housing Trust Fund does is not that dramatic. It sets up a vehicle where a variety of designated funds could be put in this trust fund so that those funds could be used to promote affordable housing. So where are those funds going to come from? Well, we wrote the trust fund as broadly as we could using, examples from other towns. And it can come from a variety of things. It can come from federal grants. So right now, if the federal government wanted to give us money, there's no way they can designate money to any particular fund for affordable housing. It's just we don't have that. State funds, if the state had the ability to give money for affordable housing in Madison, there's no place to hold those funds where they'd be 100% used for affordable housing. Charitable endowments and foundations. There are many, many organizations in this country and the state that want to promote affordable housing. Affordable Housing Trust Fund would allow them to give money and know that that money will always be used to promote affordable housing. Private donations. If someone wanted to donate money or land, there's no place where they could do that currently where they know that that was going to be used for affordable housing. And lastly, the town of Madison itself. There's no specific way that the town of Madison currently can decide we'd like to take $10,000 from our annual fund and put it for affordable housing. We'd like to donate land that we don't need anymore and use that only for affordable housing. We would like to change some of the way we do things so that some funds could go and everyone would know they were designated. So the Housing Trust Fund really is a vehicle for those types of funds. And everything needs to be reviewed by the Board of Selectmen. Everything needs to be approved by the Board of Selectmen. And any town money that was more than $250,000 or anything of value, so if there was land, that was more than 250. The town of Madison would have to approve it. So I see it as not that controversial, quite honestly. I just don't. And I understand that there are a lot of people who either don't understand what we're doing or just don't appreciate what is happening. And that's why we're trying to get the word out so that people can understand that it's not as scary as some of the people out there who are, quite honestly, I think are spreading false ideas about what's happening. So that's my little homily. Mark, you have any other comments about that?
No, that's fine. Cover the waterfront. I mean, there's one other thing that I would put in one of my reports. Very possibly money could come to us to help build affordable housing or establish affordable housing. That would be 80% from somewhere else, but it would require money from the town. So there'll be a decision by the town to say, okay, do we want to walk away from the $8 million because we can't afford $2 million, whatever the number is. So that's the reason for the number, the words in the document that says town, money that comes from the town. There's no plan right now for the town to give us any money into the Housing Trust Fund. I mean, they may change their mind in the future, but not right now. But I think that's what everybody's been focusing on. Jim Schmaltz said it before, and it is highly unlikely that any money is going to go directly from the current budget into Housing Trust Fund. But there may be new regulations, for example, having an exclusionary area, a zone for exclusionary area where builders would have the right to opt out, but they'd have to pay something. That money would go into a trust fund. So that would be town money, but it's new money. It's not taking money away that requires changing the mill rate or anything like that. So.
Also,
Now, you also said that you could accept up to $250,000 directly from the town without the residents having essentially any say in it.
It requires a public hearing.
If you approve it in the trust, then every year as long as they could move over $249,999 into the trust fund every year without
But
hearing
Jim,
or a vote.
again, listen, one of the things in life is you can almost always come up with some dark, incredibly unlikely, never to happen story that makes, quite honestly, doesn't really make the point. What I would say is that's not accurate. Forget that. Forget that that is never going to happen. Let's go even better. If that were to happen, as Mark said, there'd have to be a public hearing. So the public would be invited, just like they're invited.
Well, he's suggesting actually that it'd be $249,999.99.
But you still have to have a public hearing. The Board of Selectmen would be on the agenda.
It'll be on the
And- right, it would
agenda.
be on the agenda. I'm not saying a public vote.
No, I know.
Yeah,
You would
but
require.
So that would be the public hearing, but
but the other part, Jim, because again, these fantasy things are hard to deal with. We have a representative government in this town. We elect 5 selectmen to make many decisions on our behalf. We do not vote on every single thing that happens. And we vote on an annual budget. We vote on things that are more than $250,000. But we empower our Board of Selectmen to make decisions on our behalf that they believe are in the best interest of this community. They are very responsive to the public. They listen to people. You probably have been at many meetings and everyone allows you to speak. So everyone gets their opportunity to voice their opinions. But ultimately, we have 5 selectmen who get to determine a lot of things in this town. And if 3 or more of the selectmen, after hearing from the public, made a decision that they wanted to put in less than $250,000, so that could be $5,000. Let's not go up to $249,999. It could be $5,000. We believe that we should empower our duly elected, we being the Affordable Housing Committee. You're free to have your opinion, and ultimately the Board of Selectmen will make a decision. But we believe it's totally reasonable to empower the Board of Selectmen to have that discretion if they believe it's in the best interest of our town. So,
okay.
If you got a problem, you fire the rascals.
yeah, that's right. Vote them out. Vote them out. Absolutely.
Monday is for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monday
That's
is
that.
the vehicle.
But just to be clear, the Board of Selectmen can, without having a public meeting, can in fact give money to anything for if it's less than $250,000. So they have full, because of its representative government. If it is $250,000 or more, there has to be a public meeting. But the public doesn't get the vote. It's not a vote of the public. It's simply to have a chance to talk about it and explain to the Board of Selectmen where if there's an issue that they feel is important.
That's
So the Housing Trust Fund, I think the important thing is Ralph and everybody, we would like everybody to, and anybody who sees this recording, that you will come to the meeting because we want to make sure that we get a cross section of the community and not just people who are writing letters to the editor or appearing on Facebook and using information which is not totally correct. It's factually accurate, but it's, as Michael said, not really a likelihood that the elected officials will go crazy and do something against the town's interest. I would say.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely believe that could be true. Like that's why you have, the checks and balances here, and you're eliminating, by doing the trust fund and authorizing, they would have to authorize that to be able to do it. And then from that point on, they don't, there's no need of any town involvement on any of it.
So Jim, we've given you the floor multiple times, and again, you made these same comments last meeting. I'd like to move on, and one of our committee members who actually, needs to speak, Richard, has his hand up. So
Okay.
Richard, you could,
Thank you. I wanted to just clarify that it's not misinformation, that it was, that I was accurate in the way in my statement.
okay, duly noted. Richard? Microphone.
That Michael Miller?
No, it's Richard.
We can't get. Richard.
Looks like maybe Richard's on.
Richard, do you hear us?
Yes, yes. He's probably muted himself.
Maybe, Richard, are you on mute in your phone?
He has to.
I think you're on mute, Richard.
You can see me, Richard.
Now he's muted. Has to. Sure that.
Yeah, I think it's Richard's. Not us.
Now he's got his microphone, maybe his equipment. Is it?
Yeah, no, I think it's,
Everything was good before.
unless, yeah. Yeah. So Richard, unfortunately, we're unable to hear you. Sorry about that. Okay, so if it works, speak up anytime you want. We'll move on to new business, which is the proposed Mill Road project. And the reason why I put this on the agenda was that Mark and I were talking a week or two ago at a Madison Historical Society event, and it turned out that there's a project that's working its way through planning and zoning. In fact, it's going to be on the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting agenda tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in this office, in this room. It's a project on Mill Road, right near where Duck Hole Road and River Road.
It's Mill Road and River Road.
River Road. I think it's going to be 16 units, 7 of which are going to be deed restricted for affordable.
I believe that's the case, yeah.
And my wife and I actually drove by it this weekend. It's a lovely, beautiful piece of property. Really beautiful.
It's a beautiful street. It's a nice
Yeah.
street, yeah.
But you live on that street, don't
You drove past my house.
you? And so, this is the kind of project that I think, both Mark and I were talking about how, well, why did we have to hear about this kind of third hand? And, we've talked in the past about what is the role of this community. Obviously, if the Housing Trust Fund is approved, we'll have a specific role in that. But I think just in general, we would like to be part of any project discussion that has an affordable housing component. Just think it would be a good move for the town, good move for the committees. And so I wanted to bring up the fact that there's going to be a planning and zoning committee meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in this room, talking about a project that could bring 7 affordable housing units.
I might be wrong. It's our understanding that it's a cluster housing development and it doesn't include affordable units. So it'd be interesting to hear what they present tomorrow.
Aaron suggested there was some affordable. I don't think 7. I think it's 4.
Oh, okay.
Because they were using 830G to build there. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. This is I think what's Michael's point. I mean, we've been not informed as to what's going on,
Okay.
and it is a large development, relatively large development, and it's cluster housing, which is approved. It's the general's residence cluster housing thing. But I believe I was told by a real estate broker that the asking prices will be between $1.5 and $1.7 million per, which may be optimistic. I don't
I
know.
ask a question.
Sure.
What is cluster housing?
There is a couple of years ago, actually Aaron's predecessor was the one that introduced this idea, was to increase. The idea is one of the things in affordable housing is increase the density. We have so many lots that are required to be an acre or 2 acres. And they introduced this idea of cluster where you would get permission to build a lot, much smaller lots as a condominium unit, for example. So there'd be one organization, but there'd be many housing units. And this was first used, I think only time it's been used is for the renovation of the general's residence up the street here.
Corner of Scotland and Boston Post Road.
Okay.
And they put in, I think, 7 units plus, I think it's 9 units altogether. They reproduced the old house and have 2 apartments in that, and then they have 7 other separate units. This is much bigger. This is, I think, 16, row 16, with an internal road, have an internal road as well.
So in theory, I mean, when you look at the cost of development, the number one cost is the land. Right. So if you can put more homes on a piece of property, it really that alone addresses the one component of the affordability issue. And so it's being done around the state. And again, we'd like to learn more about it. We don't have an opinion about the project because we don't really even know all the details of the project. So it's an example of, and again, I wanted to use the bully pulpit here, the opportunity to have this meeting to kind of talk about how there's a project in town. I think people who are interested in affordable housing would want to know more about it, and so we would like to. I'm planning on attending tomorrow night. And I'd encourage anybody else who's interested in affordable housing in Madison to come and learn more about it. And I think anybody who lives in the neighborhood probably wants to come by and learn more about it.
I will not, because I've got a family thing tomorrow, but I'm planning here. I'll look at the recording. Yes, down the street from where they're building it. So not only that, but actually the property across the street is going to be for sale. Which runs down to the river. Well, that will be the family, the Lewis family, which was the old farmers. It's been in their family for 100 years.
Nice, it's
Probably selling stuff. They're all over the farm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I would say you should have a conversation with Erin about this, not only to find out whether there's any affordable units, because I thought I heard her saying there was, but if there's not, I think that we as a committee should be engaged perhaps in discussing with the developers why they don't have.
Right, it's an opportunity.
Yes.
And any large scale development, and in Madison, 16 homes is a large scale development, right? Any large scale development that's being proposed in our town, I'd love to be able to make sure that our voice is, heard early enough in the process.
Well, we are early enough in this process right now. There was a town appearances committee. Is that what it's called? Do you know?
Yes. Yeah.
They were on last night.
Right. Oh, I was okay. I heard I thought it over there.
Yeah, that's all I know. I mean, I was watching them, but they didn't talk about anything in terms of the actual, what they're doing there. It was really just showing them what the village would look like and stuff.
Next item of the agenda is recruiting new committee members and community outreach. At one point, I think we had 7 members.
Yes.
And slowly but surely, we're now down to 3. Lots of different reasons. People are busy. People literally moved out of town. People, just did different things with their lives. So we're down to 3. We would like to grow the committee back up. There happen to be 2 Democrats and an independent on the committee now. We would love to see, Republicans, independents, Democrats, of course, but it's a glaring weakness that we don't have a Republican on the committee, and there are a lot of independent voters in Madison. We'd like to have more representatives of that group as well. So one of the things one, we should probably talk to the Democratic committee and the Republican committee if they have any names of people they'd like to recommend. But I was thinking, particularly if the Housing Trust Fund passes, because again, then there's something kind of to rally around a little bit and a little bit of sense of purpose. I was thinking that we get a list of, Chamber of Commerce, some of the other groups, the formal groups in town. We could talk about the Housing Trust Fund, and we could make a pitch about, getting new members. Again, it is going to be, to me, kind of dependent on whether we have the Housing Trust Fund or not. But it is a kind of a reason to go meet with these groups, something to talk about. And I don't know.
Well,
what
Anthony, I know
thoughts.
Anthony talked to the Public and Town Committee, and they listened, but I don't think they've ever made any recommendations, so I don't know. But it's worth it, but we have to get more members here. So,
Somebody responded to one of our mailboxes, right, about where to find applications.
That's for,
Yeah.
really,
there was
Somebody
somebody
did.
in the show.
recently or?
Within the
week
past
or
week
two.
or so.
Oh, really?
Wow,
Recently, yeah.
very recent.
Very recent. I don't remember who it was, but somebody reached out through our
The
mailbox.
affordable email.
Right.
And Aaron responded
They
with,
never did respond.
yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
We should get the name of that person and encourage them to actually complete the application.
Okay, I'll check in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's great. That's great. And not to put any pressure on you, Ralph.
I'm a Democrat. I can't help it.
It's fine. Again, the truth matters.
That's okay.
The
I
truth
like
matters,
it.
we want more members. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah,
And if for whatever reason it's skewed toward one party or the other,
yeah.
by just, the way the numbers work, that's fine too. We need more members. If the committee is gonna make a difference, it does it. The number of people can really swallow the difference. Again, I think the housing trust fund is going to be a pretty key.
Yeah,
The light switch on or off in a lot of ways. Just don't passes it around. Right.
And
any
I
other-
think anyone's really encouraged to apply because you don't know who else is gonna apply. So. And
Yeah, well-
somebody else makes those decisions.
I mean, I think that I think there's been posting of, please apply to, but I think that we should do, just our committee should go ahead and do some outreach on our own. And say, not just apply to the town for some job, but as to join the affordable housing.
I mean, a year and a half ago or more, I saw some, there was a big town meeting about 2 years ago about affordable housing.
Yeah.
And there were some other things that were talking about it. I saw that and I reached out on my own. And then I was told, there was a process. Ultimately I met with Al and Jen and I was invited to join. So, it's not that it's not like a complicated country club application here, So
So it is sort of, I mean, that's what we have the picnic, the annual picnic.
that's right. I don't like boats, so I've missed the semi-annual boat cruise.
The regatta.
Both times because I don't like being on sound on a boat.
Yeah.
But you're right. And of course, today I don't know if everyone knows that we sent the memo that the committee uniforms weren't required, so that's why we're dressed the way we are. But normally we're in the committee uniforms.
Usually.
Uh-huh.
This is the summer uniform. The winter uniform is very good.
Mid-August uniform.
Right.
I put on pants. By the way,
Oh, I didn't.
I was wearing shorts until 3:20, and I said, I should probably put on pants. So I.
Well, you're the chairman, so I think
Higher
that's,
standard.
I think it's higher standard.
Times.
Don't stand up.
Yep.
That's right. During COVID, when people started, finding for the first time, like working remotely, and what do they say? You dress.
But I still do that.
Great
Just
stuff.
change it. Yeah. So all these people do it too.
So again, I just think we want to put the word out. We want people to consider applying. And again, I think if the housing trust fund is enacted, I think it gives us a reason to go out and maybe meet with you a little bit more. And any other topics that people want to bring up?
Community outreach, I think. Community outreach is.
Oh, and community outreach. So I guess I was kind of thinking you know, again,
That's the
it's
same.
like, yeah, right. I thought of it as part and parcel. I think it was great that we got an article in the source. I think it, you know, the fact that there were a couple that were, you know, that resulted from that, I guess that's going to continue in the next week or two with the trust fund. I think that helps. And I think the source, you know, has been a very, you know, positive influence for communicating. You had an interview with them last year at some point.
Yeah, but we were not ready to do anything public at that point, you know, it was just background. But I think he'd be happy to do another article once we have the housing trust fund.
But
Mr. Rubin,
anything else?
I don't think so.
Peggy saw me in one. Just see us acting.
See, it's both, I should start waving.
Okay. Maybe just,
Hey,
but if you'd like,
okay, I'll just be the plus one, I'll be your plus
you,
one.
you know, I'm not, don't tell my wife.
No,
Great. Well, if there's nothing further, and Richard, I'm very, very sorry that hopefully you heard all this. I'm looking at your name on the board. I'm sorry that we weren't unable to connect any audio.
Is there a spot for chat or?
It's set up as 11, but I don't think there's room for chat. Let me see.
That's a good question.
That is a very.
raise your hand, but you can't do it else.
Yeah, he raised his hands. We're seeing Richard if we can come up with chat. Now, of course, if he's driving,
Sure.
we don't want him.
Right.
I don't think there's chat. It's just mute and unmute. So hopefully he'll be able to attend the next meeting.
Does it require, maybe, I don't know whether you know this or not, but does it require us to do something really official if we were to change the timing of the, not the day, but the timing of our meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd have to go
It
through,
would, it would have to be called as a special meeting.
no, I was thinking ongoing. One of the things Richard said is he isn't working and whether we can make it later in the day.
So for the rest of the year, you would have to change them and
Yeah, the
one
rest of the
would be
calendar.
I think special meetings,
And then you would just adjust the schedule for next year.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's not, that just means when you do the agenda, it says special meeting. And then that's also changed on the calendar.
And you have to strictly go off of what's on the agenda. You can't open the agenda and add items to the agenda if there's a special.
okay.
Yeah, so
We'll
however
look
many
into that.
meetings, what are there, September, October,
We only have 4 more meetings.
Yeah.
left.
and then when we set the calendar for the next year.
Right.
You know, in November and December.
Yeah, we could do that,
Do
but
that.
I knew we could do
Then
that, I
it
just,
change.
I thought, is there any chance to work it around without being a special meeting? And the answer is no. So,
But it's not that big of a deal if it was a special.
Really?
You just wouldn't be able to open the agenda and add items to it.
okay, we pretty much stick to the agenda.
Yeah.
anyway, So.
It's on my watch.
Yes. Much improved over the
Yeah.
last chairman, I don't know. who-
I don't know what he was thinking.
I neither did he. So, okay,
Good. Well, thank you, everybody. What time is it? 4:46?
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.